So for this bite-sized exercise, we're going to be going through a series of little hip stretches and hip openers. This is going to be great if you've got tight hips, or if you've been squatting, or possibly even just warming up for some squats. So our exercises today, we're going to start down on the ground, and we're going to start down on our backs. So we're going to start with our feet nice and close together, spine nice and long, and we're just going to let our knees rock side to side like windscreen wipers. So each exercise today we're going to do for about a minute or so before moving on to the next one. So I'm going to start down here with our knees together, side to side, and then all we're going to do, we're gently just going to take our feet out a little wider now, and same thing. So feet are going to be roughly hip width apart, and just letting those knees rock side to side. So in the beginning you may find that your hips lift off. That's absolutely fine. You're going to get a bit more of a stretch in your low back. But as we come into this and these feet get wider, we're going to start to transition the stretch into our hips. So again, slightly wider with those feet, and start rocking side to side. Keeping your feet roughly on the ground. Again, don't worry if your feet or your knees aren't coming down all the way to the floor. And once more, we'll go a little bit wider if we can, and then roll them side to side. So we've got about 10 more seconds here before we come up into a seated position. So, all we're going to do now is pop up onto our bum. We're going to come into what's known as a 90-90 position. So I'm going to have my front leg at 90 degrees and my back leg at 90 degrees. If I want to make this easier, I pull my heels in towards me to make this easier to sit in. You can also pop a cushion under your bum if you want to make it a little bit more comfortable. From here, simply roll from one side to the other side. Let your chest come round with you. Try and keep your feet cemented into the ground as we roll. We're focusing on keeping our spine up nice and tall, and again we're just rolling through internal and external rotation. If you wanted to make it harder, you come more into that 90-90 position, but again trying to cement those feet down into the ground, and you're almost rolling from one butt cheek to the other. So 10 more seconds, and then we're going to come on to all fours. So you've got about one more rotation, and then we're just going to come on to all fours. Now, whilst we're on all fours, all we're going to do is take our knees nice and wide and hands out in front of us. We're going to sink our hips into our heels, and then from here, we're going to round our back, pushing our hips forwards, opening our chest and lifting our gaze. Hold for a second, and then just sink your hips back into your heels. Once again, as I come up, I am rounding my back, pushing my hips through, and then lifting my chest. In this end position here, I want to be pushing into the ground and squeezing my bum lightly to open up all through the front of my body. Just transitioning from one position and then back through and opening up. Again, you may feel a bit of a stretch through your hips, you may feel it through your chest, but we're just stretching out all through the front. 10 more seconds here. Excellent. So all we're going to do now is we're going to pop up with our left leg forwards, okay? We're looking to tuck our pelvis up and sit nice and tall. We should get a bit of a stretch through the front of our hip. From here, we're going to shift our weight forwards and backwards. And then we're just going to take our front leg slightly out to the side and do the same. We're going to keep repeating this, taking our leg further and further out to the side. Now you may be able to get right round to about 9 o'clock, or you may not quite be able to get that far. But either way, my knee is always tracking over my front toes, and then I'm moving again. You should feel the stretch transition from right in the front of the thigh here to the outside. So once you've gone all the way around, come back again, and we're just repeating this. Out and back, out and back. Excellent. So we'll switch to the other side and same again. Tuck that pelvis up, shift your weight forwards and backwards, out to the side slightly, away and back. And again, I'm slowly working my way as if I was going round a clock face, with my knee always tracking over those first toes, those front toes. So you can see as I come forwards, my weight shifts forward. As I come out to the side, my weight shifts out to the side. Again, keeping that bum squeezed and that pelvis tucked. It's not about just sinking as far as we can here. It's about maintaining the tuck and trying to stretch through that hip flexor complex in the hip. About 20 more seconds of shifting through, and we're going to swap legs again. Here we are, last ones. 10 more seconds and we're going to go back to our first side, but we're going to switch up the stretch ever so slightly. Tucking in and shifting. So let's swap round to the other side again. But this time all we're going to do is we're going to tuck our pelvis up. We're going to take our hand on the inside of our knee. From here, we're going to come up and around in a big circular motion all the way around and back again. Up and around. Now, as I open up, I'm trying to open up through my torso, but again, I'm squeezing my bum, trying to keep my hips facing roughly forwards to get a nice big stretch all the way through my hips. Here we go. We've got about 30 more seconds on this side. Let your eyes follow your hand all the way around. If you want to, we can switch the direction up and come back the other way. Either way, I'm squeezing the bum, tucking that pelvis up, using my front hand to help you stay nice and stable all the way around. Boom. And then let's swap to the other side. So again, I'm coming up into position, I'm pushing my hand and my knee together, and then opening up in that nice big circular motion. As I'm rotating here, I'm trying to open up and rotate through this hip complex and back. So my hips stay forwards and the rotation comes from my torso, but we should feel a nice bit of a stretch coming all through that hip. Excellent. A couple more of these. Got about 30 seconds. So again, if you wanted to switch it up and go the opposite way, feel free. Big circular motion round, big circular motion around. Keep the glutes squeezed and switched on. Up and around. 10 more seconds. We're going to come up onto our feet for the last one. Boom. So this time we're going to jump up on our feet, okay? We're going to take our feet nice and wide, and all we're going to do is lunge one way, and then we're going to shift our weight and lunge the other. So we've got about a minute here, shifting one side, and then back to the other side. You can see I'm using my hands to help keep me balanced. If you need to, grab an object or a sofa or something to help support you, but I'm trying to sink my bum down towards one heel as I keep the other leg straight. I get a big stretch up through my groin, the adductor muscles. Stretching through one side and the other. Got about 30 more seconds. Again, really trying to sink nice and low. Come to a depth that you're happy with. That may be up here, or you may be able to sink lower, but find your range. 10 more seconds. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Give your legs a little shake off, and then we're done with a quick little bite size there to help stretch and open up those hips. Well done.